Hey, shalom, shalom, everybody. How y'all doing? Welcome back to Reading with SHILO. What up? I'm SHILO. I'm out here. hmm What's the business with y'all today? Hope everybody's having a good one. Because we are ready to, it's cold down here. Oh, man, I'm cold. I'm cold. It might not be cold like where y'all at, but it's cold to me. Oh, man. But I'm out here. I'm out here cold or not, man. We're going to get up here and we're going to try to go ahead and get back into chapter 2 this morning. Or today. Pick up where we left off in chapter 2, Profitable Wonders in the Medical Apartheid by Miss Harriet A. Washington, which is turning out to be very informative. Very informative. Damn, I need some chapstick. Very informative. And we're going to keep pushing. One book at a time, man. One book at a time till we knock them down. We'll knock them books down out of here, get it going. But yeah, we're gonna keep pushing. But before we keep pushing, when people come in, like, comment, definitely comment so I can see that the chat is working. For sure. Let me know where you're from, whatever, all that jazz. Where you're from, what it is, what the business be. Welcome to Reading with SHILO. Come on in, let's try to learn something. We're gonna see what we can learn and grow from in this book, The Medical Apartheid. What can we implement? What can we take from it and see, does this stuff have any effect on our lives? And can we take something from this and make adjustments in our lives? Maybe, maybe it's something that we can profit from, even though this book is about atrocities, the atrocities that happen to people of my color, women specifically, both men and women, but a lot of women, to make the advancements that they have in medicine today. And he's still doing this stupid stuff today. He's still doing these trials. We're still being used as guinea pigs today, still today in 2024. But we're gonna continue to read and see what Miss Harriet A. Washington has to say. She has 15 chapters in this book. We're on chapter 2, and we're on part 2 of chapter 2. But before we go into that, we're gonna go ahead and work our body. We're gonna work our body, and then we're gonna work our mind. But I gotta get my dummy. Out there right quick. So, because I didn't think I was gonna do this exercise, but let me go ahead and get my dummy right fast. I'm gonna go get my dummy, and I'm gonna come back so I can do my 25 things. So get your mind right. Get your mind right. If you gotta stretch, get your stretching done, because I'm about to do 25 things, baby. And then get your ass off. Get your ass off your big lazy butt. The sun shining on you, man. You're alive. Get up and let's do something. Give me a minute. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Oh, good Lord. Oh, good Lord. Oh, Jesus. I'm back, baby. I went and got my dummy. My dummy. My flow dummy. Well, we're going to do 25 things to start. So I'm going to do my 25 things on my dummy. Good Lord. Let me get my dummy together. Come on, dummy. That dummy about to get knees. Need up. So, hey, get your 25 things. This is my 25 for the day. I'm going to do 50. I'm going to do 50 first to start off. Because I know I'm going to do 50. I can't just do 25. Not on my dummy. He need to get some work, man. I don't like that. But anyway, Come on, get yours in. I'm gonna get mine in. See my dummy right here. He ain't gonna never tell me no. He ain't gonna never tell me stop. He ain't gonna never get tired. You're too hard. Why you hit me like that? I ain't gonna never hear them excuses. So let's get you done. Y'all do 25. I'm doing 50 on mine. Y'all get y'all 25, and I'm gonna do my 50. All right, dummy, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Back. 30, 40, 50, 60, 80, 90. Get back, boy. Get back. Get back, dummy. All right. I got me 50 in. You do your 25, I got 50 in. All right. I'm coming back for you. I'll be back. Keep running your mouth. Whew. That definitely put a little sweat on me. All right. Let's get it. Work your mind. Work your body. Work your mind. And then we're going to work our body again at the end. So get ready. I'm coming back for you, buddy. Miss Harriet A. Washington's. I might need to come out of this now. Miss Harriet A. Washington's Medical Apartheid. Chapter 2. Chapter 2. Profitable Wonders. Profitable Wonders. We're going to pick off where we left off yesterday. James Marion Sims, Savior and Sadist. Savior and Sadist. Well, let me catch my little breather right quick. All right, let's jump into it. Medical Apartheid, the dark history of medical experimentation on Black Americans from colonial times to the present. Chapter 2, Profitable Wonders. Part 2 of the reading. Section, James Marion Sims, Savior and Sadist. Let's get it. Now, James Marion Sims is an important figure in the history of experimentation with African Americans because he so well embodies the dual face of American medicine, to which racial health disparities owe so much. Sims is revered as a woman's benefactor, as a women's benefactor, although he conducted years of nightmarishly painful and degrading experiments without anesthesia or consent on a group of slave women. He was born into a struggling family of 10 in Hanging Rock near Lancasterville, South Carolina in 1813. And in his autobiography, The Story of My Life, Sims describes how despite a career as an indifferent, mediocre student, he gained interest into first to South Carolina Medical College and then to Jefferson Medical College in Philadelphia. In the manner of the day, his medical education consisted of a year and a half of instruction, and Sims confessed that he initially found his medical training wanting. When it came time to making up the prescription, I had no more idea of what to do than I had never studied medicine. But once he embarked upon practice on the plantations of Alabama, these feelings of inadequacy did not prevent him from blaming enslaved mothers for the high death rates of their infant children. He ascribed newborn tetanus, or Trimus nascientium, to the mother's moral and intellectual failures. Whenever there are property, and filth and laziness, whenever there are poverty and filth and laziness, or where the intellectual capacity is cramped, the moral and social feelings blunted, there it will be often found wealth and cultivated intellect, a refined mind, and an affectionate heart are comparatively exempt from the ravages of this unmercifully fatal malady. But expose this class to the same physical causes, and they become equal sufferers with the first. Now, neonatal tinnitus, or tetanus, is caused by a bacterial infection with Clostridium tetani. Clostridium tetani. Let me mark some of these words down, man. These gonna have to be some words I look up later. I know this is a scientific word. Neonatal tetanus is caused by a bacterial infection with Clostridium nati. Clostridium tetani. There you go. Clostridium tetani. I'm sucking on that word. Which emanates from animal manure and thrives in wounds such as healing umbilical stumps. How the hell it gets to that? That's the question. How does it get to if it thrives there, how does it get to the umbilical stump? If it's caused by manure, if it emanates from animal manure. Thus, Sims perceived the connection between filth and illness, which was not yet an accepted medical belief, but he blamed the wrong parties. Owners built slave shacks on inferior lands near horse stables and other quarters, and as far as possible from the whites' dwellings. Antebellum doctors disdained for hand washing, as well as the midwifery practice of swaddling the umbilical cord with rags, raised the risk of infection. But by attributing tetanus to the laziness and weakness of slaves, he deflected attention from the simplest way of removing contagion, relocating and improving slave dwellings. Oh, they didn't want to do that. That's too much money. I ain't paying for no niggas. They have no good house. They ain't want to pay for good doctors. Why they gonna pay for a good house? From this book, the only time the doctor really came is when they was close to death anyway. Slave master, but he's gonna be in the projects. Man. But by attributing tetanus to the laziness and weakness of slaves, he deflected attention from the simplest way of removing contagion, relocating and improving slave dwellings. To date, we know the deaths were probably the caregiver's fault. And as a plantation doctor, Sims attended many children, but he used only the black infants as subjects for dangerous experiments in tetany, a long misunderstood children's neuromuscular disease characterized by convulsions and muscle spasms. The tetany that was epidemic among enslaved children was actually the result of severe calcium, magnesium, and vitamin D deficiency. Is that so? Caused by chronic malnutrition, but Sims was erroneously conceived that it was caused by the displacement of skull bones during birth. He took a sick black baby from its mother, made incisions in his scalp, then wielded a cobbler's tool to pry the skull bone into new positions. And during this time, I would occasionally puncture the scalp over the lambdujewel suture, under the lambdujewel suture, with the point of the crooked awl, and pries out the edges of the It's hard to pronounce some of these things. I know I've heard these words before. The paritial, the parietal bones and pries out the edges of the parietal bones always, with the effect of greatly modifying the rigid floor of the extremities. Sims' attempt to open the skull was based upon a scientific myth that the bones of black infants' skulls, unlike white infants, grew together quickly, leaving the brain no space to grow and develop. This premature closing of the black skull was held to cause low intelligence and perpetual childness in adult blacks. When the infants died, Sims castigated the sloth and ignorance of their mothers and the black midwives who attended them. Sims soon acquired 17 slaves, whom he used in his experiments and as workers in his clinics and laboratories. The first 3 such patients fared miserably under Sims' faltering scalpel, and one 19-year-old enslaved man died after 2 heroic operations, including the unanesthesia removal of bone segments, presumably to prevent the spread of an infection. Sims' accounts of the surgeries glossed over the patient's death to dwell upon technical details of greater interest to his medical readers. And mistakes such as a patient's near suffocation from a sponge that Sims forgot to remove from his mouth after removing part of his cancerous jaw, and Sims' failure to stanch the patient's bleeding from the carotid artery were almost given short shrift. But these were mere prelude. On a June day in 1845, 17-year-old Anarcha, a slave on the Westcott plantation just outside the Montgomery, Alabama, felt the contractions that herald the birth of her first child. 3 years later, the exhausted, terrified girl, still writhed in excruciating labor, Sims was called in and used obstetrical forceps with which he admitted he had little experience. The child died, and although an archer seemed out of immediate danger, she soon faced another horrible trial. Her torn vagina began eroding, and she was left with openings between the remains of her vagina and her bladder and her rectum. Man. The visual in my mind. Oh, Lord. Oh, just decayed. Gone. You know how them boys be having that flesh-eating disease and like a chunk be missing. That's what I visualize in my mind. It's just gone. Chunk missing. Chunk of the cat. Gone. Oh, man. She was now incontinent, and the essentially flowing urine inflamed her ravaged tissues, triggering pain, recurrent infections, and odor. Oh, I can believe it. As terrifying as Anarcha's condition was, a certain hyperdole entered Sims' descriptions of it. He compared it to the smallpox and stressed it as unpleasantness for spectators, as well as the fact that it made her unfit for work, a planter's perspective. Anarcha was far from alone in her misery. Her condition, vesicovaginal fistula, afflicted many women, black and white, who survived difficult childbirth. However, enslaved women had an especially high rate of this complication, despite physicians' tendency to blame the ignorance and obstructive interference of our plantation. I don't know this word. ACC. Accoutures, Accoutures. Accoutures. Cultures. Let's see. Shalom, everybody. Cultures. Account. A couch. It's not in this song. Oh, good Lord. Let's try the big one. A couch. ACCOUCHEURS. ACCOU. Accouchment. A couch. ACCOUCH. ACCOU. See, there it goes. Accoucher. The accoucher. One that assists at the birth. I've never heard of you. I've never heard of that. An accoucher. I've heard of a midwife. My mother's a midwife. But I've never heard of an accoucher. I wonder if my mom read this book since she's a midwife. I might have to ask her. I wonder if she read it, had to do research on it. I wonder if she's still, I know she sees a lot of stuff because I hear stories. But all right, a culture and nigga midwives. I'll start. Despite physicians' tendency to blame the ignorance and obstructive interference of our plantation of cultures and nigga midwives, Sims himself conceded that the rates of vesico-vaginal fistula had risen when obstetricians began using forceps. The condition may well have been due to the confluence of malnutrition, forceps use, and anarcher's youth. The vitamin D deficiency that was very common among malnourished slave women caused bone defects, including a small pelvis. This made birth difficult, especially in the undeveloped pelvises of very young women. And slave women became mothers approximately 3 years earlier than did white women. Vesico-vaginal fistula is emotionally and socially devastating, and it condemned many of the Southern ladies to permanent individualism. I bet if it did all what they said it did, if the odor was there, if the it was like the wasting away, if the wasting of the way of the cat was real, or if that was a symptom of the vesiculo-vaginal fistula, then I could see why it would lead people to a life of individualism. They want to stay by themselves. Like King David, man, when he had that funk on him and nobody wanted to, to mess with him, funky. All right. Oh, individualism. Sims knew that curing it would make his medical fortune, and he also knew that using white women to test such painful surgeries as might be effective against it was impossible. Historian Walter Fisher sums it up. It is most improbable that Sims and his assistant, Bozeman, could have established his so remarkable a surgical schedule without the slave system, which provided the experimental subjects. Slaves did not have to be recruited, persuaded, and cajoled to endure pain and indignity. They could not refuse it. Fight back, slaves. Fight back. Be like them boys in Haiti. Fight back. Be like them Haitians. Sapase. Labule. Sims acquired a total of 11 women slaves with vesicovaginal fistula from their masters by promising to lodge, board, and treat them, and he built a Spartan wooden building where he conducted surgical experiments on them for the next 4 years. Damn, 4 years. During the Victorian period, layers of dress signaled sexual chastity. Oh, that shit definitely going today. And doctors were not in the habit of viewing women's underclothed bodies. Not even their professional stature gave them license to gaze at women's genitalia. When Sims undertook his fistula experiments, even the term gynecology was a few years in the future. And instead, women's doctors averted their eyes in a chivalrous fashion as they knelt to tend to the modestly clothed ladies of their class, relying upon their sense of touch beneath voluminous Victorian skirts. However, Sims worked with enslaved blacks, was constrained by no such delicacy, I bet. All in they shit. He made the women undress completely, then kneel on hands and knees while he and several physicians took turns inserting the special speculum he had devised to open the woman's vaginas fully to view. I saw everything as no man had seen before. Yeah, Marvel Sims. Yeah, I bet because you wouldn't look at them white girls, them pink people like that. It's not funny. I know it ain't funny. Believe me, it ain't funny. It's just the way I saw myself. Sims, you a dusty foot. Dusty foot, sucker. I saw everything as no man had seen before, Marvel Sims. Montgomery physicians flocked to Sims' shack to see what no man had seen before. I bet. Look at these dusty foots too. Other dusty foots coming along. Let me see, Sims. You want to see something? You never guess what I found in there. So did prominent citizens and local apprentices. Damn, there was everybody, like a damn zoo. Come and see. Come one, come all. Special attraction. Cat. The universe. What they say? That's what they say. The dark. Come see the universe. The surgeries themselves were terribly painful. Not only had Sims too close to unnatural openings in the ravaged vaginal tissues, he had to make the edges of these openings knit together. He opted to braid or scarify the edges of the vaginal tears every time he attempted to repair an opening. He then closed them with sutures and saw them become infected and reopened painfully every time. Shit. Several male doctors had initially assisted Sims by holding down enslaved women as he had made incisions. But within a year, they could bear neither the bone-chilling shrieks of the women nor the lack of progress any longer. The doctors left, leaving the women to take turns restraining one another. And later, Sims recruited Dr. Nathan Bozeman as a protege and assistant. Bozeman was a recent medical graduate of the University of Louisville and had trained with some of the best surgeons in the region, such as Professor Samuel D. Gross. Now, medical journals and professional words of mouth have detailed the inhalation of ether as anesthesia since the early 1840s, and Sims knew of this, but he flatly refused to administer anesthesia to the slave women and girls. He claimed that this procedure were not painful. His procedures were, well, let me try them on you, dusty foot. These procedures were not painful. Let me open your shit. He claimed that his procedures were not painful enough to justify the trouble of and risk attending the administration. But this claim rings hollow when one learns that Sims always administered anesthesia when he performed the perfected surgery to repair the vaginas of white women in Montgomery a few years later. Sims also cited the popular belief that blacks did not feel pain in the same way as whites. And however, Sims' own words belie him. In his memoirs, he noted that Lucy's agony was extreme. She was much prostrated, and I thought she was going to die. Sims further obscured the truth in 1852 when he described the first surgery on Lucy, writing, "That was before the days of anesthetics. And the poor girl, on her knees, bore the operation with great heroism and bravery." Is that what it is? Is that what they call heroism? Get down there and take this licking and keep on ticking. I'm going to call you Timex. Ooh, look how brave you are as I torture you. I torture you. You willingly. Look how brave you are. Ooh, I love my brave slave who can't do nothing and tell me nothing. Sims' refusal to administer ether seems even less defensible in light of his willingness to administer it very freely to another group of women without apparent regard for its trouble and risk. And in New York during the 1860s, Sims attended white women patients who suffered from vaginismus disorder marked by painful vaginal muscle contractions that prevent the entrance of the penis, making intercourse impossible. Okay, that's that stuff when women talk about it hurts. It hurts. You must have vaginismus. Vaginismus. I'm going to use that word too. Next time I hear it. You got vaginismus? Mark that too. Some vaginismus. 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 Complaining husbands approach Sims, who regularly etherize their wives, rendering them unconscious so that their husbands can have sex with them. Damn! Damn. Man, we got it made today. You can think about that. You know, back then it was more, I would like to think that it was more prominent that women were virgins before they married. A lot less sex going on, at least before marriage, I would think. Supposed to be. And for you to not have sex before you're married, to marry a woman who has or who may have vaginismus and don't even know that she has vaginismus. Now you can't even do it with her. And the only thing you got to go off of is this doctor who been experimenting on niggas. And he gonna put your ass to sleep for me. What's up, my boy? Okay.
Well, I wonder why you put that. Right there.
Because I was kneeing that dummy, man. That dummy ain't got nothing on me, man. I told that dummy, you better not move. You better not go nowhere. You better not go nowhere. I got something for you, dummy. Yes, sir. Go ahead, sir. Is your brother up? Okay. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Hey, after you eat your cereal, it'll be time for excuse me. I'm sorry, everybody. Excuse me. After you eat your cereal, it's time to go ahead and start your schoolwork. Who was the last one? DJ did his last, correct? Okay, so tell DJ's gonna start his first. DJ starts his, and then you come back after him. By the time I'm gonna be finished way before DJ finishes his schoolwork. So you can go ahead and get you some cereal if that's what you want. Tell DJ to fix him something too. So if that's what he wants, make sure you brush your teeth and wash your face after. Do you understand me, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And we'll figure out everything else after. If y'all get done early enough, if y'all finish y'all schoolwork early enough, then we have enough time y'all can play. It's too cold right now, I believe. Maybe it's just in the house. I'll check outside a little bit. If it's not too cold, then we can go ride your bikes later if you still want to do so. If not, then you can play your game later if you choose to do so. But you have to finish your schoolwork first. So get that out the way quickly. If you lollygag on it, that's your fault. It will be your fault. The longer you take, the less time that you have when it comes to the things that you may want to do. So if you do it correctly and right the first time and quickly the first time, then you can have more time for yourself. Understood, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Handle your business, my son. Excuse me, my bad. Sims' writing often utilized imprisonment as a metaphor for the control that he saw as key to restoring a woman's health. His enslaved experimental subjects were the ultimate in controllable patients, and he eventually chose to control his slaves' pain in a peculiar manner. He addicted the slave women to morphine, but he gave it to them some form of opium in as large doses as can be borne, at least twice in 24 hours. Only after surgery, administering it for several weeks each time, Sims explained that opium calms the nerves, inspires hope, relieves the scalding of the urine, and permitted the patient doomed to the 4 nights horizontal position to pass the time with pleasant dreams. Ain't that a bitch? You dusty foot, man. Dusty foot. Dusty foot. Dumbing you down, man. Dusty foot got him hooked on them perks. He out there like Kodak talking about I'm a gremlin. He was serving them the bad perks. Sims, the first drug dealer. He wasn't no doctor. He was a drug dealer. Getting boys hooked on them perks. Morphine at the time. On it bad. Twice a day. Just pumping it in them for weeks. Man. The morphine did ease recovery, but it did not allow the pain of the procedure. It did not allay the pain of the procedure itself. So this practice perplexed some of Sims' contemporaries. The most logical explanation is that this practice had more to do with controlling the woman's behavior than controlling their pain, because the addiction weakened their will to resist repeated procedures. As mentioned earlier, the medical association between assiduous cleanliness and infection had not yet been drawn. And although Sims was the man of scrupulously clean surgical habits, the constant exposure of the organic sutures to pathogens caused the women repeated infections. And Sims, however, had a serendipitous inspiration. He decided to devise sutures of silver. Silver did not harbor pathogens, and the infections were finally tamed, allowing the possibility of healing. And in the end, Sims triumphantly recorded closing an archer's largest fingertip-sized fistula. I don't want to say that's not that bad, but who am I? I don't have no vagina, and I don't know what a fistula feel like. And I wouldn't want to have no fingertip-sized nothing on my tenderloins. Oh, I want nothing on my tenderloin. Oh, no, 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 no. I don't want nothing. No fistula. Nothing. Nothing. Oh, keep my tenderloin pure. He announced that he had perfected the vesico-vaginal fistula operation in May of 1849. After scores of operations over 5 years, more than 30 operations on Anarcha, 30 Anarcha alone. In 1852, Sims' paper on vesico-vaginal fistula repair was published in the prestigious American Journal of the Medical Sciences, and it made his national reputation. And Sims became the celebrated father of American gynecology. And as much his place in history was assured, W.J.S. McKay, MD, spoke for his fellow surgeons in predicting that when the history of modern gynecology is written, the work that Dr. Ephraim McDowell did will be represented as the dawn, and the first bright planet that appeared in the dim light of that dawn was Marion Sims. In the early 1850s, bouts with malaria forced Sims north to New York City, where he became a medical lion who built a society practice, did research with blacks and immigrant women, taught medicine, and held many influential positions in hospitals, medical societies, and academia. He founded the New York Women's Hospital, the first hospital for women, which was built at Park Avenue and 50th Street, the present site of the Waldorf Astoria Hotel. Shit. Ain't that funny? Don't that sound funny? You just sound kind of funny to me. That the first woman's hospital was built where the Waldorf Astoria Hotel is at. It would lead me to believe that there's still underground stuff there of when the hospital was built. Like, experimentation rooms, surgery rooms, holding rooms, storage rooms, maybe, who knows, other stuff. And all these people be going missing. They go missing in these hotels and stuff like that. What if that, just, the elevator went down? One more floor than you know. And you could be snatched away and experimented on the same way like Anarcha was for years. And who would know? They'll just have your name on a fucking box, on a, that you might see in Walmart, missing. Man. Beginning in 1862, he also sojourned abroad, where his medical fame gave him entry into royal circles. He and his family became the toast of the Second Empire, Paris, while Sims attended the Empress Eugenie and other members of the French royal family. Across 2 continents, monuments, memorials, and clinics sprung up in his wake, including the one that now stands in New York Central Park, all celebrating his stature as a physician, treating alike empress and slave. I think his statue need to be towed the fuck down. Tear that nigga shit down. Tear shit down. You tearing everybody else shit down. Tear shit down. Go to New York City. Eve. Shit, you might as well make a statue to Genghis Khan. Shit, where is the statue for Hitler? Put a Hitler statue out there. What great things he's done. Think of the hell with the atrocities. Think of the gains in science we've made since then. Think of the medical gains we have made since then. Because it's the same shit. It's the same shit. But their atrocities, our atrocities are big upped. Our atrocities are Hey, nobody care about our atrocities. Keep doing them dirty. But you know, honestly, because we keep allowing it. We keep allowing it. I'm almost to a stopping point. Matter of fact, now I'm gonna finish it. I'm gonna try to finish it. We're gonna see. We're gonna see if I can get there. Let's get there. Let me stop talking and keep reading. Oh, there we go. Sims wrote copiously about his work and medical philosophies as well as his life. He needs to do number 10, son. He can finish number 9, but he needs to go to the next one. He needs to go to number 10. Start off with the Bible. Look, I'm almost done. I got a couple of pages left. And by the time he gets to his seat work, I should be done. I should be done by the time he gets to his seat work. And once he gets to his seat work, then I'll come tell him what he needs to do. So right now, all you have to do, I'll make sure he knows what he needs to do once he gets time to his seat work. So just tell him right now, he can finish off 9, finish off 9, take 9 out and go to 10. Okay? Anything else? Just tell him take out 9. He only had one more class. He only had one more section left anyway. And it was like a singing section, so he don't need to worry about that one. So just take out 9, tell him put 10 in, tell him go to 10. Start off with the Bible class. That's the first class. Fast forward through the Pledge of Allegiance. Fast forward it to the class and just go from there. Sims wrote copiously about his work and medical philosophies at the well of his life. In Alabama, Sims' vigorous defense of the slavery system had been liberally seasoned with nigger. However, once up north, he hid the ethnicity of his subjects, portraying them as whites in his illustrations that accompanied his accounts of his surgery. His duplicitous, there we go. His duplicitous praise of the indomitable courage of these long-suffering women failed to mention that it was chattel slavery and morphine, not courage, that had bound the women to his surgical table. Oh, ain't that right? Sims never disclosed whether he closed the fistula of his other slave patients, although many who have written about him seem to take it as a matter of course that he did so. However, his erstwhile colleague Bozeman instead insisted that not one half of the slave women that they worked upon together were afforded relief by the years of painful surgeries. Bozeman reported correcting some of the remaining fistula himself using surgical innovation of button sutures, a technique he perfected by performing this procedure on other black slave women, Kitty, Dinah, and an unnamed mulatto girl. You know, Bozeman even described a case of vesiculovaginal fistula created by Sims when he removed the bladder stones of the 9-year-old slave girl. Damn. Sims was not pleased and used the New York Academy of Medicine as a bully pulpit to attack Bozeman for appropriating his technique. But Bozeman was not the only challenger to Sims' primacy as inventor of this vesicovaginal fistula repair. In 1838, 15 years before Sims took up the problem, Virginia surgeon John Peter Metier had devised a similar procedure using lead rather than silver sutures. And Metier had operated on 25 women in Prince Edward County, Virginia, a large slaveholding area, but cured only one woman. And Metier blamed the slave women for his inability to help them. Ain't that something? Metier blamed the slave women for his inability to help them. Speaking of one, he claimed, I believe this case, nevertheless, could have been cured in the process of time, especially if sexual intercourse could have been prevented, which intercourse, I have no doubt, defeated several of the operations. Come on, man. That's common sense. Man, you think these women is out there, if they hurting like that, you got to give them morphine and all this shit. You think they're out there just having sex like that? And if they are, it's not on their own, recognition. I think a lot of them physicians that was testing on them was sleeping with them and doing stuff to them. Man. We're gonna stop it there. We're gonna do that's about an hour. We only have a couple of pages left. We got about 3 pages. 4 pages. 1, 2, 3, 4. About 4 pages left. But we got an hour. We got a stopping point anyway. We're at a stopping point. Antebellum ethics. That'll be the next. We about to finish with chapter 2. We got like 2 more pages. We got 4 more pages. 4 more pages to go. But it's gonna put me past my hour. It's gonna put me past my hour. I'm trying to stick at an hour. At least an hour worth of reading. And it's getting good though. These dusty foot doctors. These swift kicking the ass, man. Sometimes like shit, like when I read shit like this or I see stuff like that, I think about funny stuff. Don't get me wrong. I do. My mind crazy, I guess. But I think about how Dave Chappelle and then went back in time with the haters. And it was like, hate. Oh, I know people wish they could go back in time right now to some of these people, like Sims. Oh, let me find you, Dusty Foot Sims. Hey, we couldn't do nothing back then anyway. But, hey. What a thought. What a thought. Definitely the women, man, Archer and them women Sims was operating on, man, they went through some shit, man. They went through some shit at the hands of Sims. It's funny. It's funny, Sometimes it's funny to me. Like, especially these days, especially reading stuff like this. And maybe my mind shouldn't go to a place like this. Maybe it shouldn't. But I guess with all the other stuff that I see lingering in the YouTube streets and all these other places, Facebook, I don't be on Instagram or whatever, people talk about it being in the news and stuff like that, about how women feel about men these days. And, even to the point of interracial dating and stuff like that, and to think that, or to know, oh, good Lord, all praises, my son. All praises to the Most High, man. He allowed you to get up today, man. How you feeling today? Oh, that's what I'm talking about, my boy. I'm glad you're feeling good, man. I'm glad you're feeling good. Let me look at you. Let me see you. Let me look at your face. Let me feel you. You feel good. You're not hot. No fever, no nothing. You good to go. You look wonderful. Look at them eyes. Look at my son's eyes. Look at my son's ears. Oh, look at my son. You're my son. Can you hear?
Yes, sir.
Can you see?
Yes, sir.
Can you smell?
Yes, sir.
You walk back here, so I know you can walk. Can you think?
Yes, sir.
You have everything you need to succeed today, DJ. You have everything you need to succeed, son. So let's succeed. And whatever help that you do need, I'll be here to help you. So don't be afraid to ask. All right?
All right.
I love you. Yee, my boy. Yeah. Did you eat you some soup?
No.
Okay, do you want some?
Yes, sir.
We'll go get you some. Don't forget to brush your teeth after you're done eating. And then finish your schoolwork. And if you need any help with that, come ask me and I'll help you. But after I'm done reading, all right?
All right.
Oh, Yeah, it makes me think about the my bad. It makes me think about the things people say today. Women say, or I hear women say, or things that they promote that women say. And to think that these are the things that, you know, people are so willing. They're so willing. And maybe it's the naivety. Maybe it's the naivety of not knowing things like this, or maybe they just don't want to know things like this. You know, I just can't see myself getting over, you know, shit. I can't get over, you know, regular shit. If I'm with somebody and they cheat on me, oh, that's it. That's it for that. You know, but you get over people doing shit like this to you. Oh man, them people don't care. Them people, your people, some of your people don't care. You know, let alone other people. And that's who you want to be with? You want to be with Sims? Well, go be with Sims. And you get everything a Nacha got. Go be with Sims. Let a Nacha live on through you. That shit crazy. But, you know, I want to say I'm glad times is different, but shit, times really ain't that damn different. It really ain't. It really ain't. I'm glad I have the ability to read better. I mean, to read more. I mean, those things I'm glad for. But hey, we got to keep pushing. We got to keep pushing, and we have to learn and grow from these things. We have to make better decisions, and we have to, you know, because we have everything we need to succeed. We have everything we need to succeed. So we have to make better decisions and make definitely better informed decisions. So that way we can better be able to give our consent or retract our consent from certain things that we know will be harmful towards us and for us, and not just personally or individually, but as a collective or as a community or a whole. If we have that, your family maybe, you know, we need to know these things. And this still ties into today, what's going on today. Don't let them experiment on you. Don't let them do shit to you that they wouldn't do to them. They're not going to give their children that experimental drug, so don't let them give it to you. Look at what they did. I mean, listen. If you have ears to hear, listen to the things that was done. How can you be so, okay, how many lives they save? You know, how can you be so willing as a person to be like, yeah, you do what you do, doc. I'm not saying doctors don't help people, man. Doctors do help people. It's like, ooh, look what they had to do to get to you. And then the question still, you know, is there. Are they really helping you? Does the same mindset that Sims had and wrote about in his memoirs and other doctors wrote about in their memoirs and journals, is that sentiment still the same? Have they just reworded it? You know, so that way, when people come to peer into their what's going on, they can't really see what has happened or what is being told, because the verbiage and the usage of the words is different. And only those who are within the certain circles can understand certain things that are being said. But hey, we're going to continue to learn and grow from Miss Harriet A. Washington and the medical apartheid. We're going to keep on pushing, one book at a time, one chapter at a time, one page at a time, one section at a time, one session at a time, man. One word at a time, here a little and there a little, until we find what we can learn and grow from and hopefully apply it to our lives and change our lives for the betterment of us and others if possible. Yeah, we'll keep pushing. So we worked our body, we worked our mind. Let's work our body again. We're gonna do one last time, man. I'm about to bust a dummy up. Before we go. So man, hey, get your stuff together. If you want to bust a dummy up like me, go ahead, bust a dummy up. My dummy ain't gonna say no. Get your work your body, work your mind, and work my body again. And then, hey, we'll come back later on, maybe, the next episode of Reading with SHILO, and we're going to go ahead and finish off chapter 2 for sure. We're going to finish off chapter 2 and head into chapter 3. But right now, that boy needs some work right now. You calling me? Always calling me. Always coming. Get yours in, and I'm going to get mine in. On your dumb ass. All right, 50 in. I got my 15. Normally it's a quarter. I hold 50 cent piece today. I got something for you later. Wait till them people ain't looking. Them people see it. Anyway, I hope y'all have a wonderful day today, man. Everybody keep pushing. Don't let your life, hold it down. Don't let it get you too down. Breathe. Breathe. Catch your bearings. Work your way up out there, you. We all got some doo-doo. Work your way up out there, you. And catch me on the next go-round of Reading with SHILO, where we're going to pick back up and finish chapter 2 of the medical apartheid. I'm Miss Harriet A. Washington. Shalom, everybody. Catch me on the back end, man. Like, comment, subscribe, man. If you want to hear some more Reading with SHILO, we'll be better later. And then tomorrow, be prepared for the Sabbath reading. We're going to pick back up in 2 Samuel and finish reading about King David. Let's see what we got going on. Well, that's what it is. I'm SHILO. I'm out here.